Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. In this video, we'll discuss the concept of micro-teaching as well as its merits. Questions from this topic are always asked in all the teaching exams. So, it's an important topic from that point of view. As we already know, teaching is a process in which one individual teaches or instructs another individual. A teacher or an educator is a person who helps students gain knowledge, competence or virtue. Teachers use creative ways to teach the students so that the students find it to be fun and interesting to learn. They perform various acts which can be either verbal or non-verbal according to the specific objectives of the lesson so that they can facilitate each student's learning. These acts or set of behaviors can be called teaching skills, such as skill of writing instructional objectives, skill of introducing the lesson. When we introduce a lesson, that is also a skill. Skill of explanation. Explaining things is not an easy task. It is also a skill. In the same way, skill of stimulus variation, skill of illustration, skill of blackboard writing, skill of questioning, etc. are all skills of teaching. Each skill has several components, which we'll discuss in the next few videos. Training colleges provide training to the pupil teachers to develop these skills. So, what is micro-teaching? Micro means extremely small. So, micro-teaching means extremely small teaching? What does that mean? Actually, micro-teaching is a teacher training and faculty development technique. Remember this thing. It is a teacher training and faculty development technique which was developed by Dwight W. Allen in 1963 at Stanford University, and it was introduced in India by D.D. Tiwari in 1967 at Central Pedagogical Institute, Allahabad. The main purpose of micro-teaching is to modify teachers' behavior according to the specified objectives. Allen has defined micro-teaching as a scaled-down teaching encounter in class size and class time. So you should remember this thing also, that micro-teaching is also called scaled-down approach because it reduces the size and time of the class. According to Allen and Eve, micro-teaching is defined as a system of controlled practice that makes it possible to concentrate on specific teaching behavior and to practice teaching under controlled conditions. So, micro-teaching is concerned with specific teaching behaviors. It provides an opportunity to the pupil teachers to practice teaching under controlled conditions. All the skills which are required to make the teaching learning process effective can be defined, observed, measured, and controlled by means of practice. Suppose you have to learn driving. So, will you go directly to a crowded place to learn it? Never. First, you will find a place where there is less traffic and you will practice driving over there. In the same way, during the teacher training period, the pupil teachers practice various skills in a small classroom where there are only few children. The teacher training colleges organize practice teaching under real conditions. The pupil teacher chooses a small topic and only one skill at a time. So remember this thing. Pupil teacher chooses only one skill at a time and she practices it in a classroom where there are only 5 to 10 students. These students can be real ones or the peers or classmates of pupil teachers, or they may be the colleagues of in-service teachers who play the role of students. The expert sits at the back of the classroom and provides feedback to the pupil teacher which helps him or her to improve that particular skill. This type of teaching is done in controlled conditions where variables can be changed as and when required. That's why this type of teaching process is also called teaching laboratory. The duration of teaching a particular skill would be only 5 to 7 minutes. So, let's see how it is different from traditional teaching. The first difference is, in traditional teaching, the class size is usually of 30 to 35 students, or sometimes maybe more than that, say around 50 to 60 students. But in micro teaching, there are only 5 to 10 students or pupil teachers in a class. Second difference is that the duration of traditional teaching is usually 40 to 45 minutes, whereas the duration of micro teaching is only 5 to 10 minutes. But usually it takes 5 to 7 minutes only. Third, in traditional teaching, real students attend the class, whereas in micro teaching, either real students attend the class or the classmates of the pupil teacher or colleagues of the in-service teachers play the role of students. Fourth, in traditional teaching, the topic size is big, whereas in micro teaching, it is very small. Hence, micro teaching is a real teaching, but it reduces the complexities of normal classroom teaching and it also helps the pupil teachers to master the skills. So now let's see the steps of micro teaching, which is also called the micro teaching cycle. It has 6 steps, which are plan, teach, feedback, replan, reteach and refeedback. First of all, a skilled teacher either demonstrates the skill before the pupil teachers or shows a videotape demonstrating the particular skill to the pupil teachers. Then, the pupil teacher selects a small topic and only one skill and prepares a micro plan to practice that particular skill, which is the first step of the micro teaching cycle. I had told you before that each skill has several components. So, the selected topic should be of such a nature in which she can easily and conveniently use the components of that particular skill which she is going to practice. She should plan the activities in a logical sequence so that it becomes possible for her to apply the components of the skill. The second step is to teach. Since the pupil teacher has already prepared a plan, now at this stage, it's the time for her to teach and use the components of the skill in suitable situations which come up during the teaching learning process as per his or her planning of activities. In case the situation changes, the pupil teacher should modify his or her behavior according to the need of the situation in the class. The third step is feedback. At this stage, the expert who sits at the back and observes the class and the other pupil teachers who are present in the class provide a feedback to the pupil teacher about his or her performance. The fourth step is replan. Here, the pupil teacher prepares a replan where he or she corrects his or her mistakes and incorporates the suggestions given to her by the supervisor. This helps the pupil teacher to improve upon his or her skills. Then, the fifth step is reteach. Since the replan is ready, the pupil teacher teaches again in the class. If the topic is same, she teaches a different group of students. And if the topic changes, then she teaches the same class. By doing this, the monotony can be removed. And also, the students do not get bored. Now, the sixth step is refeedback. For the modification of the pupil teacher's behavior in the desired direction in skill teaching, this step is the most important one. Here, the teacher again gets a feedback about her performance. The entire process goes on for around 36 minutes. First planning time is excluded from it. So, the pupil teacher teaches for around 6 minutes, then gets a feedback which is kind of a discussion. The supervisor does not tell the mistakes of the pupil teacher in a rude way. Rather, it's a kind of discussion which is held to know where improvement is required and how it can be done. This process takes around 6 minutes. Then, the pupil teacher makes a replan which takes around 12 minutes. and then she reteaches for 6 minutes, and then again she gets a feedback for 6 minutes. So it takes around 36 minutes to complete the whole process. Time of first planning is not included in it. Here, a video recording of the teaching should also be done so that the pupil teacher can observe her own class and do a self-assessment or self-criticism of her teaching so that she is able to see her flaws and try to improve them. So, we find that there are many advantages of micro-teaching. First of all, this method facilitates the teaching process so the pupil teacher is not terrorized by the complexity of the teaching. Secondly, pupil teacher focuses on only one skill at a time and refines it. Thirdly, in the feedback, an objective assessment of the behavior of the pupil teacher is done and suggestions are given for the improvement. It is also the responsibility of the supervisor to act as a counselor to the pupil teacher and guide him or her at all levels from lesson planning to teaching so that there can be substantial development in teaching skills. So, this was the concept of micro-teaching. Now, I am going to ask you a few questions so that you are able to assess yourself. I'll give you 5 seconds per question before telling you the answers. Question number 1. Who developed micro-teaching? So, the answer is Dwight W. Allen. Second question is, who introduced micro-teaching in India? And the answer is D.D. Tiwari. Third question is, which year was micro-teaching introduced in India? And the answer is 1967. Fourth question is, what is the duration of the step of replanning in micro-teaching cycle? The answer is approximately 12 minutes. Fifth question is, how many skills are practiced at one time? So, the answer is only one skill. So, I hope you have understood the concept well. We'll discuss about various micro skills in our upcoming videos. If you like the video, then please don't forget to hit the like button. Do share it with your friends and also please subscribe to my channel if you have not subscribed to it yet. Thanks for watching.